Grant Funding, a Symbiotic Relationship, Part 2, Building a Firm Foundation. So what are some tricks for building a firm foundation for a symbiotic relationship with a funding agency? Your proposal should provide sufficient detail that someone else could complete the project in your absence. Perhaps an ecological trophic level analogy will help you keep the foundational aspects for forming a strong grantor-grantee relationship in mind. The grantor will want to know why you want to do what you have proposed. Your evidence of need statement is analogous to the primary producer level. Without it, your system doesn't have the firm foundation it needs. Your evidence of need must be compelling and well thought out. Using research evidence to support the need for the project is essential. Hard data, yes, numbers and statistics provide evidence to document the need. Even quotes from authority figures can help to show the need is real and not just based on your personal perception of the situation. If you don't convince the grantor that the project is needed and worth doing, well then, you will have a hard time beating out the competition who has taken the time to make a well thought out, indeed almost unarguable case for the project they are proposing. You must answer the question, why should the grantor give the money to you rather than to someone else? For some granting institutions, remember when I talked about establishing a relationship in the Finding a Potential Partner program? The who is extremely important. Some granting institutions will only work with particular types of target audiences. The what is typically important to all funders. What are you going to do to solve the problem? Be specific. Include each step. Remember, you should provide sufficient detail that someone else could follow your lead and complete the project in your absence using the steps you laid out. The who and what are analogous to the primary consumers of a food pyramid. Most grantors want to know the scope of your project, local, regional, national, or global, as well as the timeline to completion. The where and when are analogous to the secondary consumers. They depend on the primary consumers, the who and what of the project. The pinnacle of your proposal, analogous to the tertiary consumers, is the so what. An evaluation plan, a mechanism for being able to tell whether what you've done has made any difference, is critical. If you are claiming an investment by the grantor will help you to make a change, then you really must have a plausible mechanism for demonstrating change has occurred, and that your, quote, tertiary consumers are in place. When you've got the who, what, where, why, when, and so what figured out, it's time to get your ducks in a row. Remember, grant writing is a game, and each funding agency has developed a set of rules for you to play by. The rules tell you how your ducks should be arranged. In some cases, typically those associated with public funding agencies, the rules are firm and your ducks must be arranged precisely. In other cases, the rules are more flexible. If you choose not to have your ducks in a row, you won't be sent to jail, but you may be sent to a red Stop Don't Fund folder, rather than a purple I'm passionate about this project folder. A red Stop folder is a place from which you will not pass go, and you will not collect any dollars. So what are the 5 essential ducks you need to pay attention to? The first is the deadline. In order to ensure a fair process, most funding agencies have a firm deadline. The second is the contact information. If you want to have a relationship, you need to provide contact information. I have actually received proposals for which I have no idea who submitted them, and thus couldn't fund it even if the board wanted to. Provide whatever information is requested. Phone, fax, email, website. If your contact information will be different when the funding decisions are due to be released, for example, if you are a teacher and the awards are made during the summer, then provide multiple sets of contact information. The third duck to consider is the format of the proposal. Use the requested format, typed or handwritten. This may depend on who the funder is, government agency or personal friend. Also pay attention to requirements regarding margins, font sizes, and page limits. Duck number 4, your John Hancock. Print your name because most likely someone will be trying to decipher it so they can enter your name into a database. Sign your name because the proposal is your side of what you hope will be a legal contract. Finally, be sure to submit as directed. Do you need to submit the original and copies? Postmarked, electronic, or are both types of submission needed? When you've got the who, what, where, when, why, and so what figured out, and all your ducks are in a row, then you might think you're ready to box things up and send the proposal off. But you should think again. There are a few more tricks up a good proposal writer's sleeves. In a third presentation, Hitting the Target, I'll share additional tips that hopefully will enable you to form a symbiotic relationship where the sky's the limit and ultimately you are jumping for joy. Thanks to the New Berlin Middle School students for the artwork originally created for field guide entries, and you, the current and future visionary force of the environmental education movement. Please feel free to contact me with any questions you might have. This program has been brought to you by the Wisconsin Environmental Education Board. To learn more about the board or to make a contribution in support of the WEEB's mission of promoting environmental education within all segments of society, please see the board's website.